What's really dangerous but everyone treats it like it's safe? Stress. I feel like this should be way higher up than the people repeating alcohol and driving and the ocean over and over. Like for sure, all are dangerous, but stress. I have a prolactinoma. A tumor, not malignant or cancerous but a friggin' tumor, that literally secretes hormones, sitting on my MF pituitary gland causing all sorts of BS and the root cause? Stress. Tumors, weight problems, sleep problems, relationship problems, all sorts of MF problems caused by stress. I am now going to stress about being stressed. Revealing personal information about yourself on the internet. Exactly why I have a whole fake identity on the internet. I usually sprinkle in a decent bit of bullshit with the truth. That way it's harder to know what's true and what's shit. And when you can't separate the shit from the truth, you can't figure out who I am. Compressed air. I was once putting air in a car tire while on a road trip with a friend. After filling the last tire, I handed him the tube and started screwing on the cap. For some dumb fucking reason, he thought it would be funny to stick the air tube in my ear and turn it on. I couldn't hear out of that ear for like 20 minutes and it hurt so fucking much. I probably should have gone to the hospital, but the pain went away almost instantly and my hearing came back, so I just didn't fucking go. Infections. Every person reacts differently to them. Don't assume you are the average. Sepsis is no joke. Met a woman and her husband in 2018 at a show, nice people. Few months later she messaged our group chat and her husband had died of sepsis. He'd been sick but refused to go to the hospital because of expenses. In the end, he lost his life trying to save money. He was only in his early 30s too. Trampolines. Especially with multiple people. This deserves way more upvotes. As a little kid, 5 or 6, I was on a trampoline with my older cousin and her friend, who were both probably double my size. At one point they decided to have my bounce way higher. I went flying up over the sides, it was enclosed, and came down hard. I have no idea how I didn't break my neck that day. Long hair around pulleys and belts. There's a YouTube channel where 2 young ladies are working around a sawmill with long hair, and I can't count how many times people have begged them in the comments to tuck their hair up. They don't. In 11th grade I had hair down to my butt and was weirdly pretty good at working the horizontal lathe at my school. Tons of rotating parts, it's used to cut and shave down pieces of metal. I had my hair in a ponytail instead of a bun and I thought someone was pulling my hair, and then my head slammed down to the machine and within like 3 seconds my hand broke cause I put my hand in to save my hair. My classmate pulled the plug on the machine and saved my life. Wild animals. I was in Thailand and a 30-year-old got bitten by a monkey. Her complaint? No one had warned her not to pet the monkeys. Honest to God. The wild animal acted naturally. The true danger here was her stupidity. I would argue that, as a stupid person, she also acted naturally. Stupid's gonna stupid, monkey's gonna monkey. Having your Snapchat location on. Yeah, I thought about it in high school and was wondering mostly why girls had it on. I knew girls that added random PPL for streaks. Dumb thing to do. It's mind-boggling to me how much I gave a shit about something so stupid as Snapchat streaks. It's cool to have a lot of long ones, but if the primary way that I'm talking to another person is them sending me a black screen with a drawn S on it, then that's not a real friendship. Riding a horse is comparable with serious extreme sports, and head injuries are the most common. See kayaking. Simple, but you're in serious trouble if you flip around and can't get back in. My friend got a bad head injury from kayaking. She never made it to the water cause she hit her head on the rack trying to get the kayak off of it. Sometimes, the universe intervenes to let you know, not you. Years ago, I was scheduled to do my first time ever skydiving thing. I'm an X-ray tech and treated 2 people the weekend before with broken legs from skydiving. I cancelled. Never did it. Motorcycles, ATVs, really anything without a cage around it. Even if you wear a helmet, the brunt of the impact force goes on your spinal column. ATVs can be very dangerous. My sister's friend knew a girl who died on her birthday after the ATV flipped over. That's why when I ride ATVs with my cousin, I be careful not to make aggressive turns at high speed. ATVs are notoriously dangerous. People are either killed or left paralyzed all the time. I'm not saying they need to be outlawed, but people just need to know they are tip and flip happy vehicles. Going to a bar, drinking, and driving home. It's so goddamn casual. I moved from a place that's really walkable and with public transport to one of the least walkable cities where people don't live within walking distance of bars or restaurants. For a long time I didn't understand how people have a nightlife here or go out without spending a fortune on Ubers. Turns out nearly everyone is casually driving around drunk. Blunt kitchen knives. One might think, oh, this is just a flat piece of steel, but cutting becomes tearing and crushing. The extra force this takes can easily send the knife off in an unintended direction in a swift and uncontrollable manner. Then you find out what a flat piece of steel can do to your fingers. 100% agree. I always got told and teach people that a sharp knife is safer as it will do what you want it to do, but a blunt needs more force and has a higher chance of slipping. Reminded me of a quote, a sharp knife goes where you want it to go. A dull knife goes where it wants to go. Going on the water without a life jacket. I had a friend who used to get teased about always wearing a life jacket, even on a big cruiser. One time he didn't wear one in a canoe. He tipped over and drowned. This is heartbreaking. I'm very sorry for your loss. The springs in your garage door. One of those yeeted itself across my garage, through 2 paint cans, and punched a hole in the drywall. We installed safety cables after that surprise. LPT, put some lubricant on those springs periodically. If they aren't lubed, the loops of each spring will rub on the loop next to it, causing friction. Over time the friction causes enough stress on the loops and eventually one will snap. Most of the time it's harmless and you end up with a garage door that won't open. But because they are springs. Childbirth and pregnancy. Currently pregnant. Haven't done the labor part yet, I'm 36W along. So far in my healthy, low-risk pregnancy, I have experienced debilitating nausea, vaginal prolapse, bilateral carpal tunnel, and pelvic girdle pain so bad I'm getting close to needing a walker or crutches to get along. And this is deemed a straightforward and healthy pregnancy, lol. Cheap car seats for kids. In the US they all meet the same safety standards. If you can't afford the luxury brands, Nuna, Cybex, don't feel like a bad parent. Just install and use them correctly. I say this as the slightly disgruntled owner of the cheap, but still over $100 each, safety first seats that are a pain to install but are perfectly safe.